Today we're going to talk about tidbits in the news.
Oh, yes.
There's a few things happening, and mainly entertainment news, I would say.
And we are welcoming Little Miss Penelope Scotland Disick. Yes. Kourtney Kardashian has had her second child, and I have yet to see the photos. Oh, they're right there. Beautiful baby. Look at Mason. Oh,
so
he's
that's her other son?
Yes.
Baby
Mason.
He's 2 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
He looks like a big boy, like bigger than 2, right?
He does.
Like
He's
4.
big. Yeah, he is. So
the interesting thing about, and I'm not judging her. The interesting thing about Kourtney Kardashian is she does not want to marry her baby's father.
Really?
And Scott Disick, that's the father of both of her children. She just won't marry him. I don't know if maybe she looks at marriage as maybe she's scared of the
Who was the
family.
one married to the basketball player?
That's Khloe Kardashian.
Oh, that's Khloe.
She's married to Lamar Odom.
Okay, I get them mixed up. Okay, so that's her. Okay, that's the father.
Scott, yep. And I think don't they make a handsome couple, Johnny?
Yeah, that's a beautiful family right there. They do
Beautiful.
make a beautiful family.
And it really seems like he really loves her. Like, he seems like a family-oriented young man.
What do you think of her naming her child Penelope Scotland Disick? What do you think about the name?
Honestly, I feel like the child's going to be teased at school for that name.
Why?
Scotland. I don't know. They're just going to like tease her. But, you know, honestly, that's your name. Some kids have the unfortunate circumstance or whatever of being
of
teased
having
for
a
their
name that, yeah, exactly.
But, you know, we overcome it. There's worse things to be teased about, and sticks and stones, really, you know? It's just a name. But, yeah, I think she'll be teased about it. What do you think of Scotland? What do you think of that name?
Well, I don't know if they're going to use the middle name as much. I think they'll probably use Penelope, right?
Right.
So, like, how many of us really use our middle names, like, do you?
Well, I mean, I do.
Yeah, but not everybody goes, like,
That's true.
most of your associates don't know your middle name,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe your close friends do, but...
Depends on the person.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say, because, like, the Kardashians, obviously, they've grown up on TV. Everyone knows about their lives. If you had children, would you want your children to be on TV?
I don't think I would.
I wouldn't either.
Just because I think I don't know, I think they lose a lot of their childhood from what I could see, you know?
Yeah. Definitely with stardom and being famous, you lose out on the real world. You lose out on real experiences and opportunities that us.
Definitely. And I don't
folk.
know a lot about that world, so it's
Right.
hard for me to judge just that because, you know, unless you're in somebody's shoes, how can you really judge, you know? Which reminds me that, I know this is a little off topic, but I was just watching on the news recently that Justin Bieber was being chased by 5 paparazzi. Like 5 cars were chasing him. So he was going 100 miles an hour on the highway. And of course the cop stopped him. None of the paparazzi got stopped. He got stopped.
God.
So then the cop asked him what was going on. He said, well, they're chasing me and they won't stop bothering me or whatever. And the cop told him, well, that's the price you pay for being a celebrity. So I mean, I can understand I can understand both sides. Like, I mean, you do get a lot of perks. So if there's like one bad thing you have to deal with, it's like
There's good and bad with everything. I mean, let's face it. That's
it's kind of like, oh, tough. You're getting chased by paparazzi.
You're famous.
You're
look what
making all kinds. Yeah, it's like, look at all the perks you're getting that we don't have.
Look what you've made happen for yourself.
Exactly. So next in the tidbit news, we're going to talk about Joan Rivers. Yes, Joan Rivers. She's always making the news because she is very controversial. But she handcuffed herself to a Costco cart because they wouldn't sell her book there. I guess this was in Germany. I actually watched the video online. And what do they call those things that you speak out of? Those.
The megaphone.
The megaphone.
She had one of those.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Now tell me, do you think this was a publicity stunt, or do you think this was just a peaceful protest?
I think it had to do with publicity, definitely. But I mean, we're looking at pictures now. Yeah.
Like, this is like, are you like trying to win an election? Like,
well, she's definitely outrageous. I mean, she's definitely trying to get attention. Yeah, that's for sure.
I love Joan Rivers, though. I love her. She is so funny, unfiltered.
Well, I think it has to do with her trying to sell more copies of her book.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, that's pretty much what it's about. I mean, I'm sure that's not her one thing in her life that she wants to protest is, them not selling her book at Costco. But in a way, do you see anything against freedom of, our freedom to buy a book like that?
Oh,
what do you think about that? That they won't sell it at Costco?
I mean, I totally understand, the point of view. Obviously, they feel if there's, I haven't seen the cover, but I guess allegedly there's some swear words on the cover or on the back where if a child were to stumble upon the book, they would find it. And obviously, as, speaking, if I were to become a parent, just from that standpoint, I wouldn't want my child to be able to see something like that.
My thing is, can't they put the book, away or up higher on a shelf or something so people can still have the option to buy it?
Right.
Because I don't want somebody telling me what I can and can't buy.
Right. And again, it is freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting because the article I read about it, it didn't say anything about a swear word like I heard previously. For the reason why they're making such a big deal about putting her book out, it was because they felt that the contents of the book were insulting, or they didn't feel comfortable with the contents of the book. But what's inside of the book isn't what's on the outside, so what's the big deal? You have to read it to see. Yeah. So what's the problem? If it's held inside, what's the big deal? So I don't know. But definitely I feel freedom of speech.
Do you think that there are certain things that children shouldn't see?
Absolutely.
Really?
Right. Children shouldn't see swear words or, inappropriate pictures. But again, I don't know what the book had on it. But I think it was
here's my take on a book like that. My honest opinion is that you're either too young to understand what you're reading, or you're old enough where you understand it. So to me, it's either way, it's you either understand it or you don't. I don't really get the big deal about having it even on the shelf. What do you think a kid's gonna pick up the book? This is let me go read Joan River. It's a little kid just say, "Oh, Mom." Oh, I just swore. Okay, we'll have to bleep that out. But I just swore.
But you know
what?
But
you know what I mean? Do you think he's gonna do that? Do you think he's gonna?
There's worse things that kids see on TV.
But what about? Reading it. I think
SpongeBob,
it's different. Yeah. But do you think he's going to read it and then start saying it?
Kids definitely do repeat what they hear. Yeah. But I just wanted to tell you, I think this was funny. One of the quotes that Joan River said, she was like, let me see, she said, Costco, who sells condoms by the pallet, who sells Paula Deen books, and which are not good for their customers' health. They decided to ban my book. And then she also said something that was funny. She was like, this is a store that sells 300 rolls of toilet paper at the same time. And I say any customer that buys 300 rolls of toilet paper deserves a funny book to sit on the toilet and read. And I read that and I was like, oh, she's funny. She's really, she was silly. She's silly. 79, raw. She gives it to you. She's a critic.
I've seen her in person and she's hilarious. She talks about old people. She talks about hating ugly people. Right. It's hilarious.
She doesn't discriminate.
Yeah, and she talks about herself. I'll give her that credit too. She does talk about herself.
Right.
So, okay.
She definitely has credibility with the things she says. She's a...
Yeah, and when she does take it too far, I think that it's for comedy purposes. I'm not sure that she's really trying to be, but...
Right, and her fans were actually very eager and excited to see her there. She was actually signing some publications of her book there, sold some books, right before she was quietly escorted out by the Burbank.
Yeah, I watched the video. It's funny because I was reading something Ricky Lake said, because I happen to follow her sometimes, and... she said it was an all-time low when I was in aisle 6, signing books at Costco, an all-time low in my career, which she recently did. Oh. But I guess it would kind of be sit in the middle of Walmart and just people are passing by you, and when you're a celebrity, it's kind of you're just sitting there.
To go from up there to...
You know what I mean? It's it's not a bar, it's a Costco, so...
But at the same time, the fact that you even have a book selling or a book signing event,
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
That's what her assistant told her. He said, well, we sold a lot of books. And she's like, yes, we sold a lot of books. Right. So that's what, Yeah,
and the only people that were really upset and disgruntled about that event were really just the people that worked there.
Yeah.
Because the fans loved it.
I think she threw them off a little bit, But, what was the harm, really? It entertained
us. Come on, it's Joan Rivers.
And we're talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So.